Before we begin the next part, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Now let's start with episode 3 of Love in Sync. The episode begins with Yoon Hwan introducing a new character, a little girl dressed like a princess. She is wearing a crown and looks extremely confident. When Yoon Hwan sees her, he asks her to remove the crown, saying that she doesn't need to wear it all the time. But the little girl refuses and says, "A princess is not a princess without her crown." Yoon Hwan tries to convince her that princesses can exist without crowns too, especially because it is her first day at kindergarten and she might look a little embarrassing. However, the little girl immediately replies, "It's not embarrassing for me, it's embarrassing for you." Yoon Hwan becomes speechless and decides to take her with him. But on the way, he unexpectedly runs into Jaein. Both of them are shocked to see each other. Soon, Jaein realizes that Yoon Hwan has moved into the house opposite hers. Before she can process everything, the little girl calls out, "Dad, we're going to be late." Hearing the word dad, Jaein freezes. She looks at Yoon Hwan in complete shock, wondering if he was secretly married and had a daughter all along. Later, Yoon Hwan arrives at his office, but he cannot stop thinking about Jaein's misunderstanding. He wonders why he should even explain anything. After all, he thinks, I'm not her father. If she misunderstands, should I really bother correcting her? Meanwhile, Jaein is also struggling with her thoughts. She remembers all the moments she shared with Yoon Hwan and feels uncomfortable. She thinks that she became close to someone who might already have been married. Jaein tells herself that Yoon Hwan never actually said he was married, so maybe there is another explanation. At Yoon Hwan's house, we see a woman watching the little girl from the window. This woman is actually Yoon Hwan's sister. The child is not Yoon Hwan's daughter, she is his sister's daughter. The sister looks happy watching her child, but when the housekeeper arrives, she becomes nervous. The housekeeper later calls Yoon Hwan and tells him that she checked his sister's room and found no alcohol bottles. Yoon Hwan tells her to keep checking from time to time, because he worries his sister might return to drinking. The housekeeper reassures him, saying that she is a mother and will try to stay strong for her daughter. Soon, Yoon Hwan receives a document informing him that he has been called back regarding the patient case that caused trouble for him. Meanwhile, Jaein is having a terrible day. Her new house has no electricity, and the boiler is broken. Because of this, she is freezing in the cold. When Yoon Hwan returns home, he looks towards Jaein's house and wonders if she is okay. But he quickly tells himself, "Why do I care?" Just then, Jaein comes outside. Seeing her condition, Yoon Hwan immediately notices something is wrong and asks if she is okay. Because she is freezing, she can barely speak. Yoon Hwan quickly takes her to his house and gives her something warm. After she recovers, he asks, "Didn't you know your boiler was broken?" Jaein says she knew, but didn't have time to deal with it. Yoon Hwan becomes confused because he knows she currently has no job. He wonders what could have kept her so busy. Suddenly, Jaein explains that she has been dealing with the housing scam case and other problems. Yoon Hwan is shocked because that is exactly what he was thinking. He asks her, "Can you read my thoughts?" Jaein also starts wondering if she really can. At that moment, the little girl enters and says, "Dad, I'm hungry." Yoon Hwan immediately goes to prepare food. Jaein sits with the child, who keeps staring at her. Jaein jokingly asks, "Have you never seen such a pretty girl before?" Yoon Hwan brings the food, but when the little girl tastes it, she immediately spits it out. The food is terrible. Even Yoon Hwan tastes it and admits it is bad. The child complains that she wants something better to eat. Seeing this, Jaein offers to fix it. She takes the food back to the kitchen and adds some ingredients. When she serves it again, both Yoon Hwan and the child are surprised. This time, the food is delicious. Yoon Hwan asks Jae how she knows how to cook, because she doesn't seem like someone who eats homemade meals often. Jaein explains that nobody used to cook for her, so she learned to cook for herself. Even though she doesn't eat much, she still needs to survive. At that moment, Yoon Hwan's sister comes outside in her wheelchair. Yoon Hwan explains that Jae-an's electricity and boiler were broken, so he brought her over temporarily. He says she will leave soon. However, when his sister sees Jae-an, her expression changes. She immediately calls Yoon Hwan over. Yoon Hwan realizes she is angry. Before things become worse, he asks Jae-an if she can return home. Jae-an is confused because she has not even finished cooking. But Yoon Hwan insists. Although upset, Jae-an agrees and leaves. She is frustrated because Yoon Hwan invited her over first, only to suddenly throw her out. After Jae-an leaves, Yoon Hwan's sister confronts him. She asks why Jae-an was in their house. She reminds him that everything happened because of Jae-an. Yoon Hwan says it was a mistake, and mistakes can happen to anyone. But his sister says, one mistake destroyed my entire life. The episode does not reveal exactly what happened between them yet. She then warns Yoon Hwan that if Jae-an stays nearby, he might start meeting her again. She tells him either to send Jae-an away or they should move. Yoon Hwan says he will handle it later. Meanwhile, Jae-an tries to rebuild her life. She visits the company where she used to work, but they refuse to help her. Her former hairstylist and manager also cannot work with her because she currently has no projects. Feeling defeated, Jae-an watches as her advertisement poster is removed from a bus stop. She then goes to a convenience store. There, she sees a man bullying the store owner over a discount offer. The man keeps demanding a free drink. Jae-an immediately takes out her phone and starts recording him. She tells him, "Try bullying her now. Do you know how far this video can spread?" The man becomes nervous. The store owner recognizes Jae-an and says, "You're Jae-an, right?" The man realizes she is the famous celebrity who still has many followers. Afraid of the consequences, he leaves. Jae-an tells the store owner she only did it because she cannot watch someone being treated badly. Yoon Hwan had witnessed everything from nearby. He is impressed by Jae-an's actions. When Jae-an leaves the store, she suddenly trips. Before she falls, Yoon Hwan catches her. The two end up standing extremely close. Yoon Hwan asks if she is hurt. Jae-an says she is fine. As Yoon Hwan tries to leave, Jae-an stops him. She asks, "Are you hungry?" He says no. But Jae-an admits, "I'm hungry, will you come with me?" She takes him to eat. However, instead of eating, Jae-an only drinks. Yoon Hwan asks, "You said you were hungry, why aren't you eating?" Jae-an explains that she never eats at this time. Since childhood, she has always avoided eating during these hours. She feels that if she breaks this rule, she will lose control over everything. So she prefers watching other people eat because it makes her happy. Yoon Hwan starts eating in front of her and asks, "Are you happy now?" Jae-an says yes. But she notices he feels sorry for her. She tells him not to pity her. Yoon Hwan asks, "When did I pity you?" Jae-an replies that she can feel what he is feeling. Yoon Hwan becomes confused. He asks why she always knows exactly what he is thinking. Jae-an suddenly realizes something is strange. She starts wondering, can I actually read his mind? She quickly leaves, saying she has an urgent matter. After Jae-an leaves, Yoon Hwan is still confused. He tells his friend, "I think Jae-an can really read my thoughts." His friend thinks he is being ridiculous. The episode ends with Yoon Hwan still trying to understand the strange connection between them.